Last week, it was announced that the President of the United States would have a press conference on Thursday night at 9 p.m., and he was going to reveal something very, very important. I got that information like everybody else in the country did, and I said, another press conference, the President? Wonder what he's got this time, because you never know with this particular president. But he said it was something important, and I thought, well, I might as well watch it. Might as well tune in to see what it is on Thursday night at 9 o'clock. So I, like probably many other folks, decided to sit down, pull up a chair, and wait and see what he had to talk about. But one thing happened that I wasn't prepared for. ABC, NBC, and CBS all said, we're not going to run it because, the president lies. And because of that, we just don't think that you need to see it. Except one interesting thing happened. After the event took place, it was roughly a 25-minute press conference. It was a presidential address, if you will, 25 minutes. The networks who didn't carry it went on and basically talked about the event and said, there was nothing more than falsehoods or things to that issue. So they don't air it, and then they go on and tear it down. Well, that got me to thinking even more. What the heck is going on here? You see, the 1934 Communications Act runs everything in broadcasting. Now, you may say, well, it was back in 1934. Nothing really matters today because that was then and this is now. Well, the 1934 Communications Act is still in force, and it requires broadcasting to be in the public interest, convenience, and necessity. Those three items. Presidential news conference, was that in the public interest, convenience, and necessity? And yet the networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, chose to not run it because they apparently are the arbitrator of what is in the public interest. All right, they could say, no, it had to do with the 2020 election that Trump lost, and we don't want to talk about it. We're not rehashing it. That's basically what this was about, apparently. So you could argue and say, well, it probably is old news. Nobody really cares. It doesn't mean anything. That was the past. Well, two investigative reporters who I look on highly, one is Catherine Herridge, CBS, and a whole bunch of other networks. She's one of the best reporters out there, investigative reporters. Then another gentleman named John Solomon, also investigative reporters, reviewed the information that came out that was released. Turns out the FBI, back a long time ago in 2020, withheld information from the daily press briefing. And they held that from the president to know what was going on. That there was tampering of the elections, and the Chinese had been involved with some bad stuff for a number of years. And our systems, our voting systems, were easily hackable. We found out. And Catherine Herridge and John Solomon found out the stuff the president was talking about was true, was legitimate, but it came from our FBI. Changed the presidential brief so the president didn't know what was going on. Going back to the press conference, ABC, NBC, and CBS did not allow it to be aired for the public to see. They felt they're the arbitrator of what the public should know about. That, my friends, is dangerous. Because that's up to the public to decide what they like, what they believe, what they don't believe. But it's not up for networks to say, we're going to tell you what to believe. See, that's done in certain countries that, are not free countries. But that's the problem. When we have networks in this world, in this nation, sitting there saying, we know what's best for you to see and what's best for you to not see, they're violating the Communications Law of 1934 in the public interest, convenience, and necessity. Those who say, well, they were right to do that, that's your opinion. But my opinion is they violated the law. Just my opinion. What happens from that, I can't tell you. But it was the most despicable thing I've seen in broadcasting, and I've been broadcasting for a very long time, to have networks censor someone because they don't like what they say, and yet we find out from investigative reporters what he was saying was correct. Maybe the networks don't want people to know what other people knew because it would make them look bad because of who they were backing. Something to think about. And now you know.